friends! So today I'll be teaching you all how to alter a embroidery hoop using some good mixed media techniques. The first thing which you're going to do is that you're going to paint your entire embroidery hoop, both the rings, with some white gesso. Painting with white gesso would ensure that you have a neutral base to work with. Make sure you dry the gesso properly before you start working on any other layer. Once you are done with painting the layers of embroidery hoop, select your collection. So the one which I'm going to be using today is 49 in Market Vintage Artistry collection, and I like the papers. They are very vintage and very shabby chic at the same time. So I'm going to be cutting a circle, making a perfect circle which I can use as a base before I proceed further. And once I have a circle ready, I am going to basically stick both the circles. So before sticking, I'm taking some medical gauze and I'm cutting scraps of it, and I'm gonna use this medical gauze around the entire embroidery frame to give it a very nice distressed mixed media look. The next thing which you'll see me doing is that using the same collection, I'm going to be cutting some circles, and using the same collection would always save you time because you won't have to think about what coordinating papers to use. And I'm using this circle cutter by Martha Stewart. This is a very old tool which I had and I barely used, and this was the perfect time to basically use it and make something pretty out of it. So once you're done with your circles, make sure you de-stress all the edges. De-stressing is very important. You see me using some spray bottle of water to give my paper a more de-stressed look. Sogging the paper would help me bend it more and give it a better weathered look. And once I'm done with that, I will be taking some de-stress ink, and I'm using the other twig by Tim Holtz, which is again my favorite, and I will be de-stressing my edges. Just a little bit of this makes a lot of difference, which you can clearly see. Plain two circles with no de-stressing and two circles with de-stressing. You'll see there's a lot of definition there. And once that is done, I'm going to be sticking all my layers up and stick that onto my embroidery hoop. So by this, our base would be ready and we are ready to embellish. I'm using a stencil by Mudra Craft Stamps, and using some paper texture paste, I will be applying some texture onto my mixed media embroidery hoop. And the idea behind when I started it was to make a globe, like something related to world, like set yourself free. But then eventually the world map kind of got smothered with paints and stuff, so I had to change the idea. So with mixed media, it will keep on evolving. You'll think of something and something else will be created always. So the next thing which I'm doing is that I have taken some shakers, and these are by Lindy's. I am in love with them. I like the way they spill colors onto the canvas. They look absolutely gorgeous. And once that is done, I have applied some art stones, which ideally I should have not right now. This was a mistake. It should be always applied on some 3D gloss gel because it is not going to stick on water. Definitely not. So you'll see me rectifying this mistake later. And now I'm applying some more colors because I'm not satisfied with what colors I had earlier, and I'm giving it more grungy effect. And with always keep a water spray bottle besides you. It will help you in spreading the paint in the way you like. The next step which I'm doing is that I've taken some dusty attic chipboard. This beautiful chipboard is, I think, chain link shape by Dusty Attic, and what I'm doing is that I'm applying some heat embossing to it, and I've selected a beautiful color by Lindy's again. So my paint has dried, and remember I told you that I did a mistake of applying art stones. without some gloss gel. Now I'm rectifying it. I've taken some 3D gloss gel which is transparent by Finalizing, and I'm applying on at random places on my layout so that I can stick stuff to it. It is always good. It is a beautiful adhesive base. It is transparent, so your colors will still be visible and you can stick anything on top of it. I just love using 3D gloss gel onto my projects. Which you'll see me doing is that I'm going to apply some random mixed media stamps onto my project, and for this one I will be using this beautiful mixed media assemblage by Mudra Craft stamps. Sometimes I use my fingers to apply pressure, but if that's not enough, I usually end up using a stamping block. And with mixed media, your stamping is not supposed to be perfect. It can be whichever way you like it. Now comes my favorite technique, which is the toothbrush technique. So I take some black gesso, which is again by Finnabair, and using a toothbrush, I will be splattering paint all through my layout. This is very important. I mean, it gives a very nice mixed media effect, and plain splatters are always good on your projects. So once that is done, I am going to finally stick the outer loop basically onto my circle, and I will embellish the inside of it after this. Now the next thing which you will do is take some clear gesso. You can use clear gesso or 3D gloss gel, both as adhesive gels. 3D gloss gel is pretty strong. Like if you need to use something which is very dimensional, use 3D gloss gel. But if you have embossing powder, transparent gesso would also do. So here I'm adding some embossing powder on it, and they both are by Lenis Gang. And once I am done applying some embossing powder, I will be using heat tool to give the very nice melty embossing powder effect. Now comes my most time consuming part, which is basically assembling everything and seeing how it would go together. So what I'm doing here is that I have some random die cuts, and these dies which I am using are by Tim Holtz or by Prima, and I'm gonna be applying everything all together and seeing which all elements would go and which won't go. Once I will be satisfied with what exactly I want on this particular project, I will go ahead and click a picture so that I don't forget, and then after that I would go on sticking everything together. But every time you deassemble your stuff and you try to reassemble it, there is some or the other thing missing. Like you'll completely see that the way I have assembled my two flowers and that beautiful three cardboard pipes are completely different in the pictures, because I kind of forgot. Even though I had a picture, I kind of forgot how I had assembled it. So yeah, it's a little tough when you think about assembling your embellishments, but with time you will get there. I assure you, you will get there. You have to go and see my old projects and old layouts and the way I used to layer my embellishments. There was absolutely no harmony in them, but with time I feel that I'm getting better, and this should get better more. And I just want to tell you guys that keep on trying, keep on making. Nobody can create a masterpiece in a day. It really takes time for you to get there, and it took me a while to get there. I was lucky that I had good love from everyone around here on YouTube, which actually has motivated me a lot to create. I haven't had good luck in getting into some good design teams because of my studies. I couldn't be consistent, but YouTube is one thing which keeps me going because I like to share my art, and this is one place where I can share my art and get response from you guys, get your feedback, and it makes me feel really, really good. Uh, I've always been that kind of person who needs self validation. I know it's wrong, but that's my basic nature. And whenever you guys comment or just give me a feedback, I really feel good. That really makes my day. I do lack in self confidence a lot, but I'm working on it. I know one day I'll overcome my fears and I will be confident and I won't need validation from people around me. But everything is in a making. It takes time, right? like by pieces of art. It took me time to master them, and I still have a lot to learn. So enough of me blabbering. You can see that I've added all my elements, even the chipboards, which I had decided. And the project looks absolutely beautiful. And the only thing which I forgot was adding some words on my project, which I think I'll add later. I hope you guys have liked this project, so please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share because that really keeps me motivated. And have a wonderful day. Bye.